Live. Okay. So, welcome back to this hot mess of session. We are gonna just jump straight into it. Where we left off last time, the party had just defeated Mase, and it was revealed what had happened to Kay and Xanis while they were here, in that they had been transformed by some sort of magical aging item. And we ended off on Penton gouging Mace's eyes out with his thumbs, while Alice sat there in the background with her 3 intelligence going, "Yay, violence!" because 3 intelligence moment. So yeah, this is where we rejoin in. Lupus is currently, knelt down, hugging Xanis and crying. The rest of you are currently trying to psychologically recover from what the hell just happened. So, go for it. Let me just scroll over to my notes.
Rabbit. Stop. Rabbit.
Oh gosh,
has it happened yet?
What, the events of Mace's being gouged?
Ash.
No, not yet. It would. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Oh no. You go.
Yeah. Basically, just to clarify, in the position you're in at the moment, Penton has only just gotten off of Mase from gouging his eyes out with his thumbs.
In that case, Milo's going to move over here.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I need to find where is it? Sorry, I should have had this set up way beforehand.
It's alright.
There it is. Look at the theme of my queen. Okay, yep, go for it.
Lupus, I know this is a bad time, but is there any possibility that Mace could have been a lich?
Lupus lets out a very, what I can describe as a slightly ugly sounding snort as he's trying to breathe in through his nose, but he's crying, so it's very hard for him to focus. He looks up to you, Milo. Well, I guess sorry, I'm a mess. I guess the only way we can really tell is if we wait and see what happens. Normally, a lich's body will crumble or turn into like a bone-coloured ash. Although nothing has really happened yet, so I can't be certain. Can everybody... Actually, hold on. While this is happening... oh god, I have to grab a different sheet. Oh, I forgot to grab Lupus' sheet. God damn it. It's like, oh, I don't need this sheet today. No, I need this sheet because I need to do something. Stop dragging the folders!
Stop.
Do
Does
you
anybody
want
have a
us to,
cloth? My hands are a bit dirty.
Stop. Rabbit.
While some Penton is looking around for a cloth, where is it? Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through. I had this somewhere. Lupus, despite the fact that he is clearly overjoyed at what's happening, spends 9 of his MP to cast. Where is it? Fucking. I am going to scream. Why did I not organize this by level and name? We'll never know. Casts Basuna on Alice, removing the curse, and basically, removing the curse and any negative effects on you.
Well, that's a relief.
So Alice, as the curse kind of fades, you see Penton's hands are covered in like a dark, almost like congealed blood, and you can, from where you're like kind of sat down, kind of your hands are like together as though you've just been clapping for some for some reason unbeknownst to you at the moment. And Mace's eyes have been just turned into these little like there's little pools of blood where his skull, where the something red, something has been smushed in. So can you make a? Oh god. You can remove the -6 off your.
Yeah, I just did.
Thing. Okay, lovely. So just set it as 0 again, so it doesn't break the sheet. So can you roll me an insight? Roll me an insight check to see if you can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Insight.
This video is sponsored by ice cubes, the thing that just melted in my cup that now makes me sad.
Me trying to find insight.
Insight will be on your.
Oh, I
It will
found
be
it.
on the social page.
9.
9 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty easy thing to work out. Because, it's pretty freaking obvious, because Penton is still kind of half standing over Mase. You put 2 and 2 together that whatever happened while your brain was a bit...
I've wandered off looking for a cloth.
Yeah, I mean... Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
Otherwise I'll just wipe it on the ground, but then my hands will get all grey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I probably have a handkerchief that I'm just gonna, gingerly throw over to him.
Okay. So...
Thank you, Jasper.
Whoa!
Appreciate it.
Anton, did you just gorge that guy's eyes out? Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, I did.
That's the coolest thing ever.
I know, right?
That's so cool.
Oh my god, yeah, it felt cool.
Did you see that? Maria?
Yeah?
Oh, she doesn't care.
I mean, their bodies don't really freak me out, so...
Is he just went up there and just gorged his eyes out, stab him?
Can I just approach and just look?
I mean, he was mostly skeleton. Choking him wouldn't have worked, so...
Stab him!
As Mira, you approach to inspect the remains, it begins to... You see the cloth, the robes, begin to sink in a very unsettling way. Even for someone who even as, your great-grandfather?
Great-grandfather, yeah.
Even though your great-grandfather is a lich, so you've had plenty of experience with, decay, witnessing remains or, decaying corpses that are being prepped for embalming. This is incredibly unnatural and unnerves you in a way that you didn't think was actually possible, as this robed figure just kind of sinks, almost as though someone's deflated it, kind of like an airbed if someone's just left the little cap open, and it starts deflating, and from the openings you see, specifically from the openings around around where his ankles would have been, and around his... oh god, I've got to remember which side it is now. The right side of his face, you see this white powder start to float out of this cloth, and it starts spiraling off into the air.
Oh, it's the white powder. I guess that means he is a lich. Then that means he'll come back, right?
Yep.
Let me roll real quick. Give me 2 seconds. While this is happening, Lupus is... There's a pretty harsh and borderline unnatural scowl on Lupus's face. You have not seen the Guildmaster look this pissed off. You've seen him look annoyed and angry, but this is something different. This is almost unbridled anger and rage in his face as you guys watch the dust kind of float away and realize that despite all the effort you've just put in, you don't know where the phylactery is. for Mase. So he's just going to come back. And as far as you're aware, you've made him pretty fucking angry. And now to roll how long it's going to... Uh-oh. Okay, that's the thing. Let me put my notes down at the very bottom of the sheet. However, Mira, I'd like you to roll an investigation check on the cloth remains.
Non-natural 20.
Yeah, sorry.
You realise that as you're... are you investigating as well, Milo?
No, I
No?
burped.
Oh.
Sorry.
So did I, it's okay. So as you're investigating the remains, Mira, you find that the outer, like, Mace's face is gone. The entirety of his face is gone. Like, it's almost as though his entire face has dissipated as well. And much to your horror, you find that inside the robes is all of Mace's skin. There's no flesh, just delicately carved off skin.
Oh.
As though Mase has been wearing himself as a flesh coat this entire time. Enjoy that mental image. There's a reason why this is not for kids. Huh. But yeah, so it would seem like Mase has been wearing his own skin as a flesh coat. Enjoy that mental image.
Oh.
It looks like he tore off all of his own skin and just sewn it back together. It's kind of cool. But kind of gross. Obviously gross. Definitely gross.
That's crazy. Could you, like, tear off your skin?
I mean, I don't think I personally could, but I'm sure my great-grandpa could. I mean, he was a lich. I mean, he is a lich as well. And he works with dead bodies. That's kind of why...
You're related to Mace.
I'm not related to Mase. My
You're
great-grandfather is
related to
Paladin of...
everyone.
Huh?
Well, you're always
Look, at this point, I'm basically related to everyone. But not Mase. Not Mase.
Okay.
That's too far.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was gonna go more cover to Kay, but okay.
As you guys as you two are having your lovely debate in the background, Kay approaches Milo, and it's a bit awkward because this guy, like, looks very, well, I'm not massively different, but different enough that she's an entire foot taller than she was before. No longer is she, like, basically, like low, like, just under your rib cage, if not lower. She's now, like, pretty much, like, up to your chest level, maybe. Like, there's a very noticeable increase in height. Hi.
Are you all... Well, you're not alright, I'm assuming.
I'm sorry for worrying you.
Don't be sorry.
Kay is going to basically... With what... It's quite upsetting when she does this, but she gives you a hug. A pretty... Like, you imagine she's really pushing to try and give you a good squeeze here. But her body looks as though she has gone through quite a lot. You can tell there's almost... Not, like, muscle atrophy. It's atrophy? Atrophy? Whatever.
Atrophy, I think.
You get what I mean. Atrophy. Yeah.
Atrophy.
As whatever Mase did to both Kay and Xanis, who is currently crouched down on the floor being held by Lupus like a small child, has done some pretty major damage. For context, out of character, both Xanis and Kay currently have a -4 to their strength and a -2 to their constitution.
Oh god.
So they have taken a lot of ability point damage from this, and they also have second level of tiredness. Which, do you need me to tell you what that is? I am more than happy to do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me find it. No, that's madness. That's madness and dress time. Frick. Oh, don't lose it now. Don't lose it now. Give me 5 seconds because I've lost the thing. Where is it? 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 You can't do this to me! Okay. I give up on trying to find it. Basically, during the process of, being turned into what this is. Oh wait, I'm opening the wrong fucking door. Don't mind me, I'm being an idiot. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, for God's sake. I am sorry. I had all of this prepped, and then I closed like 3 tabs earlier. Now I can't find it again. Where is it? Where is it? There you go. No, that's not it. Never mind. Essentially, they've had their movement speed reduced heavily, and they've got a massive debuff to anything they're doing at the moment. So, be it saving throws, be it skill checks, be it just even physically moving around has a risk for them at the moment. The fact that they have gone out of their way to try and fight their way through to get to the rest of you is an achievement in itself.
Milo will hug back.
So, as you're all kind of gathered together, Lupus lets out a very angry growl as he stands up and carries Xanis. Right, we're leaving now. We're heading back to the guild. I've got the elite. The elites have been waiting outside to make sure that Mase doesn't try and escape. So we should be able to get back to the guild within the next few hours. And he starts walking away. Who's closest? Alice. I know you are a little bit focused on Pendant, but do you want to roll a perception check on Father Bear? Because you're technically the closest.
So,
Pardon?
and
You're trying to find it.
Please tell me that didn't go through.
That went through. Clear as day. Charming.
It was strong.
Absolutely charming.
It came out of
That's the
nowhere.
thing with
I
a clip
had no
now, innit?
chance.
Yep.
Yep.
Clipped. Totally.
12. Okay. So yeah,
hello?
that was your total roll, yeah? I'm guessing your internet's being a bit messy. Yeah, so 12 is a success. So you notice that Father Bear looks absolutely mortified. Despite his fur being his fur is short black coloured. You can see the colour drain from his face.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is going on in his head right now, he is in shock at what's happened, but without much of a word, gets all of his things together and starts getting ready to move with the rest of the group. Also, I should remove Mace's token off the map because he is not there anymore.
Father Bear, are you alright?
He moves past you without a word.
I will take that as yes. God.
Somebody got a
It was
Somebody-
me. It was me. I'm sorry. I normally mute
It's
it.
okay.
I forgot.
It's okay. I just think it's quite funny. It sounds like a tiny Zoidberg.
I know.
Anyway, moving swiftly onwards. So you guys are pretty much gathered together. It would seem like the Knights of Floss have gathered together any of the supplies that Mase has brought with, like all of the chests in this dungeon that shouldn't be here. And due to the Sleeping Wolves having helped to resolve the excessive levels of undead problem, and just generally as a whole, all of the chests that were in there that Mase had just scattered about for random supply runs have been sent to the guild, and I will get you all to do your rolls for these at the end of the session, and I will then apply those to your sheets, and I'll just ping you all with what you got.
Good. That saves us a lot of time.
Yeah. On top of that, all the EXP that you got from killing most of those undead, plus eliminating Mase, even if only temporary, has boosted you all up to level 13, as you each got a lovely grand total of 128,563 experience. Because you guys should technically have not survived that dungeon, but haha, Luke was hard carry. Yeah, so you guys will be getting your level ups at the end of the sessions, basically after the fact, and I will do that off screen. So I've already got you guys to send me the stuff over. I think I'm still waiting on Penguin's ABI, but aside from that, I'll apply your level ups at the end of the session. So just sort everything out during that. So at this point, you guys spend the next few hours with the help of the elites traveling back to the guild. And this is where I remember to change over maps. You are given about a couple of hours to settle in and, try and relax and, clean the smell of undead off you. And you're given just enough time to clean up before you are all immediately called for a meeting in Luke's office. This is where I have to find the track that I had ready for this. Where is it? Is it this? Oh yeah, it's this. So you're all called into Lupus's office, where Lupus is currently sitting at his desk. He looks like he hasn't slept in days. Like, the energy in his system has just left completely. And you're all gathered together. So in this room currently, we have... sorry, I didn't open another file. Oh god. Although I am speedrunning my way through what I planned for this, so I have got more time than expected.
So, not opening direct files, can you find a better romance?
I know, right? Well, look at Sophie.
Oh yeah, that one.
Okay, so in this room currently are Alice, Alstramira, Kay, Father Bear, Jasper, Carl, Lupus, Mado, Milo, Penton, Rosemary, Xanis, and Ziffy. But you hear two other voices, a pair of footsteps coming down the corridor, as entering the room, rather unsubtly kicking the door in, is a very unfamiliar woman to most of you. She has white fur with long grey hair. She is currently wearing a dark green dress. And she is... she is holding a rifle in her hands. It is clearly loaded, as there is a clip in the bottom of it. and she looks pissed.
Alright. You have 1 second to tell me who hurt my baby. I bet it was you, bunny boy, wasn't it? Or was it you with the tall ears? I bet it was you. You better tell me what happened right now.
As during this, she is waving the rifle around. Her fingers up in the perfect position to pull the trigger on whichever one of you she is aiming it at. It is kind of terrifying. Let me just roll real quick. If everybody wants to make a charisma save.
What the fuck is toys? That's not in my fucking dice tray. Oh no.
Oh my god. This is fucking brilliant. Oh, there was never a better time to roll that. Okay. Going from top to bottom. Oh god. Alice, what did you roll?
Sorry?
Charisma save. What did you roll?
Christmas Eve. Sorry. It's just because it, like, cuts out occasionally.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I understand. Your Wi-Fi's having a bit of a moment.
Yes, but...
What was your save?
Magical or non-magical?
Non-magical, because it's an intimidate. It's them trying to. This woman is trying to be intimidating. 16.
Yeah.
That's
16.
That's a fail.
What?
Mira.
What am I rolling, sorry?
Charisma save. Oh god.
That one.
Okay. Yep. You are terrified. Jasper. That's also a fail. You are also mildly shitting yourself at this, so I'm turning you up a little bit. Milo.
11.
Yeah, no. That's also a fail.
Oh my
Penton?
God.
26.
That's a success. Congratulations, you are not shitting yourself. Okay, let's see.
I am the charisma man.
You are.
Man. Rabbit.
Question mark. No, Xanis is absolutely terrified. Kay, I'm not rolling a save for Kay because she knows who this is. She knows firsthand who this is. Carl fails. Oh no. Father Bear and Mado know who this is, so that's all a save. So pretty much everybody apart from Penton fails.
The one who killed your... Sorry, the one who hurt your baby is dead. I killed them. So...
Oh, really? And tell me the full story right now, because believe me, I am ready to fully destroy whoever dare hurt my little Kay.
As Cassandra this is Cassandra, as the voice echoes from behind her. Cass, dear, please, not right now. And walking in behind her is another Wolverine male who basically is like the splitting image of Kay, but very clearly male. It would appear that that's this would be her father, you would assume. As a couple of you have met him or seen him previously. As Lilac just pats Cassandra on the back. How about you let me deal with this, dear? I understand you're upset, but right now, maybe not the best idea to blow random kids' heads off. At least we can find out what's happening first.
Fine. But if it is one of them, do I have permission to blow their heads off?
Maybe. We'll find out from Lucas what happened first.
Fine. Just figure it out, please.
So the rest of you,
Oh, are you like Kay's parents?
Yes, I am Lila Clavander, and this is my lovely feisty wife, Cassandra Marlborough. Pleasure to meet you. If I remember correctly, you're You're one of Diana's daughters, aren't you? Anyway, as Lilac is about to formally try and introduce himself to Alice, Lupus cuts in. Right, that's quite enough. Right, so I'm assuming you're aware of why I've called this meeting together, and quite directly, we've dealt with Mase. The biggest problem is resolved, and I'm glad to say that we've had Priscilla, Milky, and Lilac check over the kids, or not kids anymore, but we've had them check up on Xanis and Kay's condition, and they'll be fine after a little while of rest and a small bit of physical therapy. Anyway, the summary of this mission was a success, fortunately enough. It's a problem that Mase is a lich, but I'm sure that can be resolved. At this point, Lupus seems like he's about to dismiss everyone. Father Bear steps forward and slams down on the table a sheaf of papers. Gregory. Sorry, that's gonna help me.
Gregory!
I'm sorry, rest in peace everybody who's using headphones. I will be handing in my resignation. I am not fit to be this group's mentor. I have failed my job and I have broken my oath. So this will be my formal resignation from mentoring Group U, and I will be returning to Group A.
Father Bear? No!
But do you really have to do this?
Father Bear looks at Mira. I understand your issues with this, but no. I have failed as a protector. I should have been the one to make sure that Carl wasn't turned into a lichen when Jasper decided to be himself. We'll put it that way. I was completely hopeless when Kay and Xanis were taken. I had no ability to prevent my own brother from being a problem and nearly kidnapping multiple of you. And I have failed my job to protect the 2 kids that I was supposed to look after. So no, I am stepping down. I am not worth endangering this entire group just because I can't do my job properly. And as I have broken my oath, there is no way that you, as Father Bear looks at Lupus, there is no way that you can turn down my resignation, as it is an oath that has been broken, and it goes against the code of the Holy Knights. Lupus looks shocked and horrified, and behind, you'd say maybe 5-10 feet away from Lupus, Ziffy is currently leant up against one of the walls in the corner, and he nearly falls over in surprise, because this is completely out of nowhere. And before either of them can really step in and go and say something, Father Bear turns and leaves the room, trying his best not to barge past Lilac, but accidentally bumping him with his shoulder on the way past. Father Bear has left the room.
Should we go after him?
No, he clearly seems very distressed over this, and, well, he seems like he's made up his mind.
Yeah, he really wasn't happy earlier.
Can everybody... Well, I'm gonna have Alice, Mira, Milo, Penton, Jasper. Basically everyone that isn't one of the NPCs. So you main 5, can you please all roll me perception checks, as there is someone in this room who is
My dice roller's not working anymore, so I've got to get my regular dice.
Do you want to use the wizard's one if you go in podcast party chat and you go in the pins?
I will. Here you go. I will ping you with a reply to the message. There you go. So if you just jump up to that, it should work. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the one I'm using.
Yeah, same.
High five, yeah.
I used to use, but I could
It's
find
Yeah,
it's because they updated it and changed
a while
it,
ago.
so the actual link itself is balked.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
No.
I couldn't find the
They-
new one.
Ah,
They changed it. They basically updated it to get rid of their online roller. I think it's locked behind something now. Or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it's just not accessible. So that's why we have the Wayback Machine.
Ooh.
Ooh. Anyway, going from top to bottom, Alice, what did you roll on perception? Alice, what did you roll on perception?
someone's
Okay,
breathing
well,
heavily into their
You're
mic.
going to love this.
Yep.
I rolled a
I rolled a
20.
20. Is that nat 20 or 20 total?
I heard
3.
Sorry, your internet is being a bit of a hoe right now. Repeat.
I think she said nat 20.
Nat
That's
20.
what I heard too.
Okay.
Yeah, just go nat 20.
Yep, we'll go with that. So, yeah, that's a success even without adding a modifier on Mirror.
22.
23.
There you go. It came through. Yeah, that's a success. 22 from you, Mirror. That would be a success. Jasper.
T1.
21. Yep, that's a success. Milo.
Well, I rolled low.
Funnily enough, that's on
You
the
always roll
DC.
low.
Oh my god.
That's on the DC, so that's a success. And Penton.
I haven't rolled yet, because I've been trying to do a chain that got tangled up.
Slam my
I
fist
was
down.
thinking 23
I can't
was.
remember what my modifier is, so I'll just roll a straight
Uh,
20. Sorry, I'll just roll a straight D20, sorry.
I
That's
can
a
grab
6.
I can grab your modifier for you because that's actually going to.
No, I can grab it, I just want to speed things up.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Smiles in my PC is going nyum. So
I don't have a bonus perception,
Nope,
so
you don't.
yeah, that's just
Yeah.
6.
So it's just the 6. So you fail to spot it, but the rest of you realize that Kay looks like she's about to explode. Not as in a literal explode into fire. No, she looks like she has had it. Does anybody want to ask her if she's okay? Haha, no pun intended.
Oh,
No.
I guess so. Hey,
No.
you're right. You don't look so good.
Do you have any idea what just happened? Do any of you have any idea what you just did? And Kay scowls at everybody in this room. Like, this is a look not of one of I'm mildly annoyed. No. If looks could kill, all of you would have just had a heart attack. Including Lupus and Ziffy, as she is scowling at everyone. However, she decides to start with Mirror. You have frustrated me and angered me for so many years. How can someone who's supposed to be of this super intelligent line of people be so stupid and naive? How? Oh wait, because your father's a murderous psychopath, and your mother just murders everybody because she can't accept reality. And then your sister, as she turns around to Alice, how is it that someone that is the daughter of the Raven Queen is such a fucking idiot? How is that possible? I don't even want to know. No, shut it. You are an idiot. You're falling in love with a complete criminal scumbag. But, you know, I'm sure that your brain
No.
hasn't processed enough.
I'm just not a scumbag.
Keep it shut, Alice. I don't want to hear it. You are absolutely hopeless. And you, as she turns to Jasper, since you came here, You've ruined everything. You brought a werewolf, and were a werewolf. Never told anyone. Never took any measures to prevent. Try and run away into the forest. Brilliant. That's gonna work for you, isn't it? Because you and the lichen share the same mind. So the same route that you took to get out of there is the same route that it's gonna take to come back. You could have prevented Xanis from getting hurt. You could have prevented Carl from being turned into a werewolf. But no, your secrets and lies are more important to you than trying to do the right thing. Which, don't even get me started on your entire family. What an absolute mess! Ugh! And you! And she turns... she turns to Penton. You are the whole reason that me and Xanis are now horrifically mutated. You are the reason everything has gone wrong. And you probably don't even care, do you? You're too busy having your high and mighty victory over, haha, I've killed him. We know. Because Mase was so kind to inform us about where the fuck you came from.
What?
Yeah. We know. I know. And Xanis knows. That some whelp, some wretch like you, thinks that you have the ability to succeed in this guild. Of all people, what gives you the right to even think that you deserve a victory after you horrifically caused this? You caused us to be aged past what we should be. This is entirely your fault.
I didn't do anything.
You did all of this. You
All
could
I've
have
done is
said,
try and survive.
and look where that's gotten you. Turn the cards against everyone else. Boo-hoo. Mummy and Daddy didn't love me and abandoned me when I was a child. Oh, poor Penton. Let's all throw success at you because you think you're better than everyone else. Well, shut it. You don't deserve anything that you have. You should have died. You should have just been killed. Gort shouldn't have brought you back. All you've done is ruin everything. And it's all because of you that you allowed him in here. And she turns to Lupus. And... oh boy, the look on her face. You are just a nutcase who allowed someone so emotionally unstable to run an entire fucking guild. Why? I bet all the blood that everybody has lost trying to protect your precious ideals and fight this being that nobody has ever seen outside of you and your partner, who, God help him if he's having to deal with a nutcase like you, and the elites. Nobody outside of that has ever seen this so-called Lillian beast that you fight. Hell, I bet it's your fault that Name died in the abyss, because who sends a person that can't speak and is deaf into a bloodthirsty monster den? I bet it was your fault, and that's why she's now dead. You blame Fele, you blame Mira, but what is the point? You are completely hopeless as a guildmaster, and you shouldn't be in power. It should be us Lavandars. We have a fucking connection all the way back to the Great Sages. And what are you? Some poor boy who got upset about the fact that Mummy didn't love him enough to really care. That's all you are. Just hopeless. There is... if venom could be dripping from her voice, half the room would have been filled with this level of malice. It's terrifying. And then Kay turns to Lilac and Cassandra. You both agree with me, right? He shouldn't be sitting there where he's standing. He's fucking hopeless. Look at him. He's getting people killed. We nearly died. The only reason that we're still alive is because I put my ass out to make sure that Xanis wasn't hurt more. Neither are you going to say anything.
Oh no, I'm going to say something. Kay Melody Lavender, I have never been more disgusted and appalled by your behaviour. To think that you have the bloodlines of Lavender and Marlborough and you speak your mouth like this to people? Have we not taught you anything? How have you grown up like this? You disappoint everyone here. You should go back and think about what you've done. Because I understand that you have been through something, but this does not give you the right to be like this. You have disgusted me. You disgust your father. You disgusted everyone here. The only fool you've made is of yourself.
As Cassandra delivers this with equal levels of venom in her voice, which is, you would think that that Cassandra's reaction would be, you know, maybe a bit softer, maybe a bit less caring. No. This is someone who has had it. Like, what Kay has said, even if it has some semblance of truth, she has ripped into everybody for no true reason, aside from she's upset that she got hurt. Which, yes, she has been through a lot in the last week that she has been taken, but she has no justification in what she is doing here. Lilac is absolutely dead silent. I imagine at this point Ziffy is looking quite fucked off. Mado is in shock. Carl is just kind of backing away and hiding near Rosemary. And I would like both Milo and Carl to make a insight check.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll for Carl, you are gonna roll for Milo, and we're gonna see where this goes.
One 18.
And Carl rolled... it was insight, I just said, wasn't it? I'm
Yeah,
having a
it was
moment.
insight.
Yeah. Carl rolls a 22, because I rolled 17 on the dice. You both realise that Kay has not ripped into either of you, and it's... something feels very off here, but your thoughts are interrupted by Lupus speaking up. How do you know about what happened with Name? That information was kept between me, Ziffy, and the elites. You should not have any understanding of what happened there. Okay, I understand that you ended up being present while we were trying to find a way to save her and rescue Name if there was a possibility of that, but nobody outside of myself, Ziffy, and the elites, including your father, should have no idea. So, until I can guarantee that the information that you have decided to spew in front of my face, whether you have a point or not, Miss Lavender, you have broken so many of the guild rules. If you have a problem with me, if you have a problem with the rest of your guild, you have a problem with even the people that I have put you with, then you come and talk to me rather than blowing up at everyone like some sort of spoilt brat. How dare you raise your fucking voice at me? I would have thought that your father and your mother would have raised you better, but apparently they've both failed there. So, until the meantime, Lilac, I apologise, but under Section 7 of this, and he waves his hand to this big list of procedures on the wall behind him. Under Section 7 of an information breach, I am going to have to report you and your daughter, as my guild operatives, to the overall guild association. You will be hereby suspended from your position until we can clarify that you have not leaked information. I apologise, but this is just what's gotta happen. I would prefer not to have to do this, but it would seem that your daughter likes running her mouth quite a bit. There is no politeness, there's no kindness in this, this is the face of someone who has no care towards the words that have just been spouted at him. So, Miss Lavender, the next time you want to make a grand statement about everyone else being a terrible people and ripping into everyone, maybe play with a hand of cards that are your own, not someone else's, Now all of you get out of my sight. Milo, Carl, Penton, the three of you will stay behind. The rest of you, go. Leave. Now.
I'm getting the hell out of here.
Fucking leaving. Yep.
So, the group leaves, aside from Milo, Carl, and Penton. Despite looking like he is going to tear someone's head off, Lupus proceeds to stand, and from his drawer pulls a letter with a very familiar seal and stamp in the wax, and hands it to Milo and Carl. I apologize for having to raise my voice like that. Your mother sent you a card, or a letter, I believe it is, in response to, I'm assuming, your letter, Carl. I will let you two go and read it in private, but if you could please make yourself scarce, myself and Ziffy must have a discussion with Penton.
Milo nods and proceeds to leave the room.
So Carl follows with Rosemary following after, and it's now just Ziffy, Penton, and Lupus in the room. Give me 2 seconds. I need to just do a couple things. Okay. So, I need to take a drink of water because my mouth is dry. And that really hurt my voice to do that because female voices are hard to do. Oh, I nearly just...
I have no idea. Yelling because Cassandra has destroyed my throat. I will endeavour. It's fine.
Oh, why am I drinking straight out the bottle? There's a mug right there. So, Lupus looks to Penton and lets out a very long sigh, as though he's dropped all of the guards. And what you are looking at right now is the face of someone who looks pretty defeated. And even though, you know, Kay may have not been speaking the truth of any form, the fact that what was said seems to have stuck even a slight bit. Anyway. Penton.
Yes?
I apologize for Miss Lavender. I had no idea that was the way that she would decide to handle herself. Well, the more you know. I'd like to congratulate you on defeating Mase, even if the victory is only temporary. Well done. You have earned my trust. You have proven Gort right in relation to your redemption, as he very much fought to try and make sure that you were put with a group that would be suitable. And I believe Lupus looks back to Ziffy, who looks a bit pissed off about what just happened, but, you know, has held his tongue during this because Lupus has kind of dealt with it ahead of time. I believe someone owes you an apology. Ziff, if you could.
I'm sorry for pointing a gun in your face. I'm sorry for not trusting you. Seems you were a man of your word.
Thank you. Now, from here, I understand that Mase will be returning, and we will have to find him again, annoyingly. But the fact that you have proved that
now we know how weak he is anyway, so
he may not return as weak as
could be
he
easy to
is.
kill again.
What
do you mean?
We didn't recover the thing that Mase had on him that he used to harm my son and Miss Lavender. It would appear that whatever relic or artifact or magical object that he was using has vanished alongside his remains. And
Oh. So, what you're saying is, next time we see him, he may be stronger.
yes, we have reason to believe that from the notes and what Nova has managed to pick apart during our travels back here, that Mase has been in contact with the wife of the wife and the husband of the Atisa child that you are currently working with. It would seem that... how do I put it? It would seem as though documents have been forged and signed by the husband of Miss Felicity Atisa, and some of the documents have been forged in Felicity's name as well. We believe,
So it was the fucking Atisas that told him that I was still alive.
more specifically, Felicity's husband. A man known as Eugene Valentine, or I'm sure you know him from the criminal world as Tuck.
Oh yeah, that rings a bell.
Yes, well... myself and Tuck have never gotten along, and after what happened with Nark, I'm sure you recognize the last name of Zilhorn, be it from his music or other means, and he gives you a knowing look.
Anyway,
Moving swiftly onwards, I'm sharing this information with you as I'm aware that Mase may return at any point. I'd like you to keep an eye on my son. I am aware that the two of you have bonded quite a bit. Whilst I don't completely trust it, I must ask that now Father Bear has stepped down rather suddenly, that someone else does it. I would trust Mira with this responsibility, but she just enables his bad behavior. Alice may not be the best option, as I'm sure she'll have a little while to fully come to grips with what she's dealing with. I wouldn't trust Jasper as far as I can throw him, and the Dragon Twins are...
handleable.
The Dragon Twins are going through a lot right now, so I'd rather not put more responsibility on them. I would ask Mado, or one of my personal friends from years ago, to help, but unfortunately I don't really have the manpower to put anyone else in place of Father Bear as of current.
It would be my honor, Guildmaster. I'll look after him.
Thank you. I understand that things aren't going to be fun, and I'm aware that you are still trying to kick a lot of old habits, but for what it's worth, and Lupus kind of seems to start moving towards you, and you can see as he gets closer, the level of tiredness in his eyes. He is exhausted to a point where his mind is probably not completely putting two and two together as to what he's doing, as he puts his hand on your head between your ears and starts kind of like as though he's trying to ruffle your hair, although you don't have hair aside from your fur. And I'd like you to roll a hearing perception check. I'll give you advantage because he's literally right in front of you.
Okay. So 16.
Luke, you
I didn't
hear
get anything on my perception checks, so
Yeah, that's fair. You hear Lupus utter the words "good boy" before his brain kind of seems to click, and you can see from the look in his eyes that his brain has suddenly clicked as to what the fuck he's doing, and he almost recoils, not in a "ugh," but a shit, and stumbles back. I apologize. Sorry. And in the corner, Ziffy is.
What was that?
In the corner, Ziffy is laughing his ass off right now. Because it's clearly not the first time this has happened with Lupus. As you would assume that this has probably happened with a couple of the elites multiple times over. And Lupus looks incredibly embarrassed. I am sorry. I was just thinking about my son, and I'm very tired. Please see yourself out.
No. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you.
Sure.
I'm gonna go.
Please do. And Lupus, you can see as, like, I'm assuming you're gonna kind of, like, look back behind you as you're leaving to close the door. And you can just see Lupus kind of... Yeah. You can see Lupus freaking out to Ziffy. Oh my god, what did I just do? And Ziffy's laughing his ass off. Like, he's trying to calm Lupus down and go, you know, like, it's all good, you're fine, it's just one little slip up. But he is trying it is very clearly failing, but he is trying his hardest not to laugh his ass off right now, as you close the door behind you.
Okay, that was weird. Right, composure. Focus on the victory. Don't think about it. Okay, I'm good. He's gonna walk off. Talking to himself, by the way.
Yeah, I would have assumed there's nobody else in the corridor. So, we jump back to the guild room. Penton, you'll be making your way back, so I'll just say that you've returned shortly around this time. We cut over to... let me change the music, because this is very out of theme now. Return to the theme that I was using earlier, because I can't be asked to write down multiple YouTube links. Smiley face. We move over to... I can also remove Father Bear's token off the map, because yeet. And remove Lucas's token, because yeet. Yes. So... Back in the guild room. Everybody is now gathered together after a couple of minutes of just settling down. Kay is not in the room, as she has been taken away from the rest of the group by Lilac and Cassandra, and you can hear down the hall a lot of shouting. Mainly from Cassandra, but very loud and stern words from Lilac. As it would seem that the room that they are in currently is Group A, which is down the hall, but it's close enough that, you know, you can kind of hear the odd word or two. You're all together. Is there anything you wish to discuss with each other?
I can't believe she really went off like that.
Gosh, that woman is crazy.
I wouldn't say crazy, but
She was so intense.
Yeah. I don't...
He's been through a lot, and it's been building for a while. Had to come out eventually.
She was like shouting really loudly. You told me not to be with Penton.
I mean...
Yeah, don't listen to her.
Yeah,
Doesn't know what she's
exactly.
got about. Anyway, tell me again how cool I looked earlier.
Okay, so...
Maybe we should
Wi-Fi
be
moment.
to Xanax?
It's a Wi-Fi moment.
Yeah, Alice, your Wi-Fi is being a whore. Are you back? Question mark?
Yes.
Hey, there we go. Carry on.
What did you say, Penton? It stopped to tell me again.
How cool he looked.
I said, well, Penton said, basically, don't worry about it. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Anyway,
Oh,
tell me
yeah.
again how cool I looked earlier. You didn't get to
Oh my
finish.
gosh. You looked incredible. Just the way you went up there and so gouged his eyes out. Oh, it was just the most. How to describe it? Attractive thing I think
Exhilarating?
I've ever seen you do.
Oh. Well, we can celebrate later if you want.
I would love to.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Oh, shut up, you prude.
okay, so no, I'm not referring to you. As you guys are kind of, as there's like a little break between the banter between Alice and Penton, Jasper starts to kind of try and gather the group's attention.
Was she right about me? I just sorry. I'm just worried that she. I mean, she wasn't wrong, really. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
As you bring that up, the first someone does speak up. It's Mado who speaks up. Well, I hate to rain on your pity parade, but she's right. Considering that since you got here, you've, well, from what my brother Ursif has told me, since you've got here, you've done nothing but keep to yourself, and yeah, look at where it's got you. You know, Milo and Carl seem to be pretty miffed off at you. Wouldn't take long for any of us to really start to dislike you. Considering that since you've arrived, at least from what I know, you've pretty much kept to yourself, you've hidden away, and you've endangered everybody's lives. No wonder the Guildmaster doesn't seem to be too fond of you at the moment, and why Kay was so willing to rip into you. You've done nothing but set up for yourself trouble and pain. I mean, hell, you've even turned Carl into a werewolf. Makes you a bit like your brother. What was his name again? It was Abe or something. Whatever.
Don't say that. I'm not like him.
Are you?
But that's the truth.
No.
And Mado seems to have said his piece and just sits there and goes back to reading his book. Goes back to reading whatever he was reading.
I need to. Okay. Jasper just leaves.
Okay.
He just leaves. Yeah.
Well done, Mado. That really helped ease the tension, didn't it?
Well, what would you rather? Me lie to him? What if he had bitten you? Then what would you do?
He wouldn't have bitten me.
Yes, he would have. I appreciate that you have a very, very strong ego, and that you probably fed it quite a bit from killing Mase, we'll put it that way. And I feel pretty good about that too. But even in the theoretical scenario that he'd bitten you, who would have been able to help you at that point? What, the kids? Or kid? I doubt we're going to have Kay back with us for a while yet, considering how deep shit she's in right now. You could hear it from down the hall. Cassandra and Lilac seem to be tearing her a new one for her behaviour. What if it had been any of you? I'm sure that you haven't looked this up or read about this, but a singular werewolf can turn an entire village overnight if it's not prepared. Jasper endangered all of us, endangered the entire village full of innocent lives. What, you want to make yourself like Miss Felicity Atisa? You want to allow an out-of-control werewolf to destroy more and more lives? I know I have played my part in probably keeping Mr. Hyde from having the chance to get as far away from you guys as he wanted, but it wouldn't have resolved anything. Where I've got enough knowledge of werewolves from having a fight with my brother. They have the same thoughts and memories, or at least the memories at the very least, as the person that is turned into said lycan. Be it a were-tiger, a were-bear, a werewolf, regardless of who or what, it has the same memories. Even if they had gotten away into the forest, they would have come back and got you.
Look, whatever it was, whatever happens, doesn't matter. Nothing you said is wrong, but you really didn't need to say it in front of everybody. You could have brought them aside and said something. I don't see how blurting it out to everybody helps anything.
What, like you and Alice having a flirting competition over there? I understand.
Private conversation, thank you very much.
I understand that you have your concerns, Mr. Aleno, but quite frankly, if everyone here has been put in danger, everybody deserves a say. And I understand if you don't believe that and you think I should have just taken them aside, but quite frankly, everybody needed a say. Everybody said their piece. Even the kid over there that Mr. Hyde attacked. Look at that poor guy. And in the corner, you can quite clearly see that Xanis has tucked away, and has been sitting in the furthest possible part of the room away from where Jasper was. He's cowering in fear. He's terrified. Clearly, what happened that night, Xanis has remembered it in full, and it's traumatized him. My point being, the kid that you've got an attachment to, yeah. What would you have done if the guildmaster's kid had died, and he's supposed to be on your watch to protect people? Think of my brother. Poor guy has had to look after both of those kids for years. Mase comes along, tortures them both, ages them beyond their years. They're kids in adults' bodies now. You imagine how horrifying that must be for them.
Look, I understand and see where you're coming from, but I really think you're just jealous that Penton killed Mase and not you.
Alice, darling,
Alice,
I've
darling.
killed...
Just quiet, please.
If you want to take this to the arena, Alice, I'm more than happy to, but I've had more challenging kills in my day. Let me be frank with you. I understand that you and Penton have your little fling right now, but keep your mind on the important things. Look at poor Xanis over there, curled up in a ball, terrified to even move when the werewolf's in the room with us. Do you think that he's happy that this is happening? You think he wants to be in this room? No, poor kid's absolutely traumatized and horrified. I've never seen someone so scared in my life. And I live with people that fight for their lives on a daily basis. I'm sorry, if you don't like what I'm saying, deal with it. Seethe and cope. Because quite frankly, I don't have the capacity to give a shit. And he goes back to reading his book. Clearly, once again, done with having to, take on a similar role to what Father Bear was having to do beforehand. Which, speaking of which, Father Bear has not returned to this room, and his possessions are no longer in here.
Can I give Mado just like a sympathetic nod?
Yep. I'm going to roll perception to see if he notices that from his book. Closing Father Bear's sheet, because that's not going to be used for the rest of the session. Smiley face. Open Mado's sheet. Social tag. Perception. That is a 16 plus nothing. So, yeah. Mado sees your sympathetic nod and just kind of shrugs.
Milo's going to go and sit by Carl to read the letter.
Okay. You open the letter, and Carl seems a little bit concerned because it's not the usual letter. Sorry, I'm just trying to dig up my notes and just, cut off some of the notes I've got written down for this session.
Okay.
So, this isn't your normal seal. This is a very familiar wax seal that you've seen when you were visiting Granny Sageweaver. This is an official emblem from not only your grandmother, but it's also been sealed by your mother, as there are 2 crests in this one stamp that have been merged together. The indentations of both stamps are visible. Carl looks a little bit apprehensive and has not opened the letter, but he is holding onto it rather tightly.
I will grab the hand that Carl is holding the letter with.
As you do that, he seems to tense up for a moment before relaxing. Sorry, brother. I'm a little bit apprehensive to open this. It's from Mother and... It's from Mother and... Yeah. It's from Mother and Grandmother.
I can open it if you can't.
Yeah, please do that. I sent Mother a letter about what happened to me and you. I'm sorry if that... I should have probably told you first, but I was a little bit upset and I wanted to at least make sure that Mother and Grandma at least were aware that we were okay, and that, well, Dad as well was aware of...
I have no problems. I'm not an overseeing body that constantly watches you. You are independent.
No, but you're my brother. I should really talk to these things. I should have asked you if you wanted to put anything in the letter. Now I just feel like I'm being mean. Anyway, please open it. I don't think I can bring myself to.
Milo will open the letter.
As you open the letter, you quite clearly notice that there are 2 separate sheets of paper in here, both of which have different handwriting. The first is your mother, Karina, her handwriting, and she addresses the letter to you both, and voices her concern. At the very least, if you had to try and sum it up, she is massively concerned about your well-being, both of you. Is kind of freaking out slightly that someone has turned one of her sons into a werewolf, and much to your horror, at the bottom of the letter, well, I'd say not horror, but a combination of surprise and concern. At the bottom of the letter, it reads, Since you both seem to be in quite the pickle at the moment, I have taken a notice of leave from helping the forest guard. God forbid I have to deal with Marianne for more than 10 more minutes after writing this. But in a month, I will be there. I am coming to visit you and your brother, well, both of you. I shouldn't refer to you as separately. You are my sweet little dragons. Your sister Twilight misses you both quite a lot. And it'll be nice to see Lupus again. As well as Ziffy. I wonder how... Please send my regards to them both. It's been a while since I've seen them. And that's where the letter from Karina ends off. It would seem that in a month from today's date, which is when the letter arrived, she is going to be visiting the guild herself. Mm-hmm. There's a second letter in there from Granny Astra as well, if you would like to read it.
Yeah. No, it's not being read out loud.
No, it's not being read out loud. This is for Milo and Carl's ears and eyes and teeth, I guess. I don't know. the letter from your Gran is a lot sweeter worded. She mentions that she's happy to hear about what's happening with you two, though she's a little bit sad that the first thing she's heard after you guys have attended the guild is from Karina flipping her lid. And mentions that both your mother and father, referring to both you and Carl, are extremely worried about you. And while Caspar cannot come and visit because someone has to stay home to keep an eye on Twilight, so she doesn't enable her inner gremlin, Karina has taken time off to come and visit you at the guild. Your grandmother mentions that she is considering the idea of coming to visit as well. However, she doesn't want to have to make the full trip because Perdita will, your other grandmother, you've got two grandmothers, well, what a lovely pairing, Perdita would make the most out of that and find an excuse to go sightseeing on the island of Girathina. So, from what she's aware, and that Karina seems to have omitted from her letter, or Mother Dearest, whichever one you prefer for me to refer to them by, it would appear that Karina has mentioned to your grandmother that she plans to bring you both home for a little while. Which is conveniently left out of your mother's message. And it ends with there's a little token in there. And this little token seems to be like a tiny handprint. And it's a bit of art from Twilight. It's a tiny little hand that's been sketched in, and it's grabbing someone's face. Typical. Carl kind of chuckles. Yeah, that's typical for Twilight. But Mother's coming to visit, and she's gonna ask us to come home? How would that work? Keep in mind that during this, Carl is whispering very quietly.
I'm going to place bets if Twilight is going to attempt to sneak on the boat with Karina. Mother, sorry.
Carl starts to smile. I wonder, Brother, do you reckon that she would bring her massive hammer with her? Do you think she'd do that, or do you think that...
What? I did not hear.
Do you think she'd bring her hammer with her? I'm a bit concerned if she does that, although I think Father's got a pretty good eye on her. I don't think she'll be coming with Mother. It'll be nice to see them again. Though I am a bit concerned as to why she wants to bring us home with her. It's a little bit unusual.
What did you just say? The mic was acting up.
So fucking fly. I said, basically Carl is voicing that it's going to be nice to see your mother again, but, you know, is voicing audible concern over the fact that, you know, Karina is intending to bring you both home?
I don't quite know what I'm going to do about it.
Anyway, I wanted to ask you something, brother. I'm thinking about going and see that boy again. It's been a while. And Carl looks a little bit flustered at your response. Well, don't make it sound like that. I mean, Okay, maybe it is a little bit like that. I don't. Stop giving me that look. Stop. Cease.
Fine.
Can I? Sorry. Can I come over?
Yeah. Upon seeing Mira approach, Carl tries his best to curb his enthusiasm, and looks at Milo with a squint of, "You dare say a word, and I will headbutt you."
Milo has an innocent smile on his face.
Anyway, as Mira, you approached this unusual tension as the dragon twins look over to you.
Well, I'm sorry if I'm kind of interrupting something, but Carl, since after everything that's just happened, I just well, I wanted to say that I'm sorry for looking in your diary.
I won't excuse it, but I guess the first step in all this is you accepting and understanding that you fucked up. Pardon my language. Very out of. I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit flustered. It's a little bit warm in here. I appreciate you apologizing to me, but I would ask that in future you don't open random books that you don't understand. Maybe hand them back to people if it happens again.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
As you two are it looks like Carl is about to continue the conversation when a very familiar face pops through the door. Specifically, a face familiar to Alice. And, yeah, only Alice that this face is familiar to. Oh, Alshamira!
Yes.
That's me. Hello.
As you turn your head around to the door, Alice, you realise it's Reggie poking his head through the door.
Oh my gosh, Reggie!
I hope I'm not bumping in on anything inconvenient, but I need to borrow you, Mira. I've got a task for you. It's going to be great. If you could come with me, please.
This is the Reggie I was telling you about, you know?
Oh, okay. Sounds really cool. Come here, Reggie. I will be very helpful.
Anyway, see you lovelies later. Don't miss me too much. I'm sure you're already missing me. And Reggie leads Mira down the hall. Do any of you have anything to say about what the fuck just happened before I move along?
Well, that was weird.
No, it wasn't. I love Reggie. He's a really nice guy.
So, walking down the hallway, Reggie is talking to Mira. So, darling, I have a wonderful proposition for you that I would love for you to help me with. See, I've got a friend of mine who I've got a bit of a bet with. I'm trying to prove that he is incapable of dancing in a sensual manner with a partner of my choosing, because he seems to have confidence that I won't be able to find anyone to help me. And I thought, oh, what a darling young woman could I ask to help? And then I thought of you and your sister, and I thought you could help me.
Oh, Alice isn't my sister, she's my second cousin, but it's okay, she is quite cute.
Yeah, I guess I remember things wrong. You two are very sisterly, though. Reminds me of what Lupus was telling me a while ago about how your mother and the current Powers matriarch used to get along. Apparently they were quite close. But anyway, and as you two are walking towards the Colosseum, so Mira, dearest, would you be happy to help me?
Oh, of course, it sounds great. I'm sure we can figure something out.
So as you arrive in the Colosseum, there is a small bench set up, or basically like a stool that's sitting in the middle, and Sitting on said stool is Asta.
Asta.
Asta looks at you, looks at Reggie. Is this some kind of joke? Are you... whatever, let's just do this. And Reggie starts chuckling. It's not like a... It's not a normal chuckle, it's like a borderline cackling of hilarity. Because it's quite clear that that Reggie has gone out of his way to pick you, of all people, knowing that the two of you aren't exactly the most fond of each other. Or at least, he's not the most fond of you. I'm trying to find the song because it's really funny what I've got planned. There it is. I found it. I found it. I'm going to scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Also, I'm going to have so much fun later when I'm not in this baking hot room. Because I am melting. Okay, so the two of you are stand off against each other. And Reggie taps this little glowing orb, and it starts playing a song. And just the look on Asta's face is one of, you are kidding me. I'd like you to roll me a performance check as you and Asta pair up and prepare to start dancing.
15.
So yeah, it's a pretty good start. You rolled a 15, and I rolled pretty nice and high. So Asta rolls a 22. So the two of you start off pretty well. And you two are, you know, doing a waltz, dancing together. And then Reggie starts amping up of, you two have to do better than that. That's not sensual. That's not what I meant, and you know it. And so it has, like, Asta just kind of grumble. You can hear him audibly grumble. So now is where the dance has to get a bit spicy, if you catch my drift.
Oh.
So roll another performance check. And also want you to roll a seduction check.
Oh.
And it's basically I'm gonna put the results together for both of you to see if you can pull off a saucy dance together.
Okay, I got non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20 on the performance.
And then 15 seduction.
Asta rolled a 17 on... a 17 on the performance, so way less than you. I rolled an 18 on seduction. So you two pull off a pretty sensual dance, and it's getting a little bit hot, you know. Kind of level of spice. And you come to the end, you start coming towards the end of the dance, and it seems like Reggie is very amused. And it's quite funny. It's very comical because you can see Asta is very, very awkward about this entire thing. But you are just living it, Mirror. It's almost as though your ability to quote-unquote drop it like it's hot as you're dancing is more than able. You are more than able to succeed. And the song stops. And Reggie looks... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God, I spelled things wrong. Okay, so that, and then pop that with my notes. So, after doing that, Reggie just kind of rolls his eyes. Oh, well, I suppose I did put down the bet. Okay, Asta, I will give you the 5,000 gil that you won for this bet. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help, Mira. Though it is a shame that you two didn't underperform. It would have been quite the entertaining evening for me. And Asta and Reggie at this point kind of start leaving.
Wait, what does he mean?
Asta kind of looks behind him, makes the OK sign with his left hand, sticks his index finger out, and then makes the motion for, yeah, I think you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Oh my god, they're gonna eat bananas and donuts without me.
Yes.
No.
During this, I'm assuming you're probably going to start heading back towards the guild room.
Yeah, if we're done here.
Yeah. Okay, so meanwhile, back in the room, Alice and Penton are having their thing, whatever. Meanwhile, Milo, you and Carl are still sitting together. And Carl turns to you. Brother, whilst it's only us and those two seem a bit, entertained with each other, how do you think I should feel about Jasper? I don't think I'm upset about... I'm not really upset about being a werewolf, but I don't know if I'm just underreacting or if I'm in shock or... I don't know. It seems like mother and grandmother and father and our other grandmother Mark II. Sorry, terrible nickname. But they seem concerned that I should be more upset, and I don't know, should I be upset? I'm not really sure how to feel about it.
I'm surprised you haven't been upset. If I'm being honest.
Should I be upset? Sorry.
You should be upset. It's alright to be upset. You were attacked by Jasper. Even if we liked him back then, he attacked you whilst as a werewolf and turned you.
I feel like I shouldn't be upset. It's... I just want to be the strong one to make sure that you're okay, because I know that after what happened back in the forest and all of that, I don't know how to feel about being upset, and I don't feel like I'm justified in being upset, because after what happened with Anna, I've been worried about you, brother. I wanted to be there to help you, but I'm not really sure how to feel.
Why do you think you need to justify being upset? Is it because of what happened 3 years ago? Because you shouldn't let that interfere.
Carl nods his head slowly, and there are little tears in his eyes. Brother, you tell me that I shouldn't be upset over that, but I've seen the way that your hands shake when you're doing when you were doing your medical training, and I saw the look in your eyes when when Maria, our friend from the guild, who kind of looks like Anna, I saw the way your hand shook when she asked you to help you. When she asked for help with a bit of cut that she had got from where she had caught herself with a lance while training, and I've never seen you look so terrified. Brother, I'm here if you want to talk. I just want to make sure you're okay. I don't want to be upset in case you need me to help you. I know Rosemary does her best to provide emotional support where she can, but she can't talk. She can't support like me, like mother, like father, like our grandmothers. I just want to know you're okay, brother. Because you don't seem it. Your emotions have been overwhelming you a lot lately, and
I'm alright.
Carl immediately goes in for a very tight hug with Milo before letting go. So it's a short but tight squeeze. Carl wipes the tears from his eyes and just gives Milo a kind of weak smile. Brother, can I trust you to keep an eye on Rosemary and make sure she's not being problematic while I
Yes. Of
Carl,
course.
Carl goes
Go
very
and have
red.
your fun.
Don't call it that, brother. Shut up. And Carl just leaves the room, very red in the face, looking extremely embarrassed. Bisexual gay brother. Sorry. Meanwhile, you, alongside Carl leaving the room, Mado leaves as well. Is there anything else you want to do, Milo, before I swap over to where Mado currently is going?
I want to go over and sit near Xanis. Not next to him, like opposite him, kind of. So I'm within his immediate sight.
Xanis makes eye contact with you, and he seems a little bit not unhinged, but he is clearly not okay right now. Something like what he's remembered everything, and what happened with Mase has clearly unsettled him quite a lot. Hi, Milo.
There you go, Xanis. Do you want to sit down and talk for a while about random things?
Well, I guess I'm kind of already sitting, so thank you for coming to help me and Kay. I know we haven't really had much chance to talk, but thank you. And he looks up to you with a look of, it's kind of like a almost childish desperation. Ignore me tinkering the music in the background. He looks up to you with a kind of look of, dare I say, childish hopefulness. Like he's hoping for some sort of indication that something is okay.
Milo gives a kind smile. You are wonderful, Xanis, and you have surprised me at every corner, and I'm incredibly proud of you.
As you say this, like I just want to give some context, like from where Xanis is, ignore me pouring more water in the background. As you know, you've approached Xanis, his ears are flopped down, as though, you know, like when a dog with like sticky up ears gets upset and they kind of droop slightly. Kind of like that in the corner, curled up in the tightest ball, like borderline like fetal position, I guess. Really just compressing himself into the corner. But as you say that, his ears perk up a bit, and his eyes light up a little. Can I admit something?
Go ahead.
I remember everything from what happened the night when the werewolf attacked. I made a very dumb choice, and I know Dad was upset with me quite a lot, but I wanted to have someone come with me to talk to a couple of people, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Did I do something wrong? I don't understand why he attacked me. Did I do something wrong? Did I upset him? Did I say something? And at this point he starts rambling over the same 2 or 3 things over and over and over again in a loop, getting progressively more and more upset as time goes on.
Xanis, Jasper doesn't hate you. At least, from what I can tell, he doesn't hate you. I think he's afraid of confronting you about what he has done, because he's afraid that you're disappointed in him. I don't think he ever wanted to hurt you. I think he cares for you, but he's just but he needs to actually talk to you about it.
But werewolves are supposed to be nice. Papa Wolf is a werewolf. A bunch of the elites are werewolves. Crimson, Priscilla. They're all nice. They never attacked me when they were werewolves. They were nice. I don't want to talk to him. He didn't apologize to me after it happened. I know I brushed it off, but I couldn't remember. I don't want to talk to him. He scares me.
Then don't.
He's physically trembling at this point, and his hand clasps around the hilt of the gun knife, as though, and his thumb starts rubbing over the pommel at the end, which you notice is around the same area where the actual trigger is for the gun knife. For context, Xanis's gun knife is a reverse grip, so the actual trigger for the little, trigger attack is at the pommel end of the knife. And Xanis is physically trembling at this point. He scares me. I don't want to talk to him. I hate him. He hurt me. I just wanted to make friends. I just wanted to follow in Papa Wolf and Papa Fox's footsteps. They're so cool, and they do so much. And I'm useless. I'm hopeless. I can't do anything right. I should have realized that I made a mistake. I know I shouldn't have gone and fought. I shouldn't have gone out. And now Father Bear's gone and it's my fault. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know who I am. I'm just a disappointment. That's all I am. And Xanis now drops the gun knife it drops with a loud metal clang, startling the other 2 people in this room, who are currently aggressively making out in the corner, from what I'm aware.
Oh my God.
And Xanis has both his head
was a
in both
joke based
hands.
on your context, but sure.
I mean, joke, yes. So you two have probably just been sitting in the corner chatting. If I'm correct, I'll correct my brain cell because it's being funny for the sake of being funny. The two of you have been sitting in the corner talking about how cool, and you've heard the clang of Xanis' gun knife on the ground, and you can see that he is curled up in a ball, holding his head in both hands, crying. With Milo trying his best to calm the boy down, but even from the corner where you two are talking, he's trembling. He's shaking. Like, we're not talking little trembles. This is violent, full force shaking, as though he is about to have a breakdown of some sort. Do either of you two want to try and help Milo calm the boy down, or are you gonna keep your distance?
I'm gonna go over there and sit with Anis as well.
You hear...
Not sure what to say.
You can see him sniffling. There are teardrops hitting the floor. And I'm assuming you're probably going to plant yourself down next to Milo. Or are you going to try and keep a distance between the two of you?
No. Next to.
Well, Milo, do you want to bring Penton up to speed on what's just happened?
Yeah.
Go for it.
How do I supposed to say, Xanis is incredibly scared of Jasper. Milo is going to... He's not going to say it loudly, but in terms of Jasper's name...
Yeah. Can you roll me a stealth check for that? I'll give you advantage because... No.
No, that dice is not even in the tray. Oh, that's terrible. Oh no, that's terrible.
I've rolled with disadvantage for Xanis because he's in the middle of crying, so he's not actively
I love
perceiving.
terrible rolls. That is 13.
Xanis rolled a natural 1, so what's his perception? Yeah, no. He rolled an 8 total, so no. Xanis doesn't hear what you say and is too busy curled up in a ball crying to really pay attention to what's going on right
now. That's understandable. He's been through. Been a lot. I'm honestly just glad that he's back.
Can we calm down? Do you think a grounding technique would work?
A grounding technique?
Yes, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. It's a grounding technique that people use when experiencing high anxiety or experiencing some form of derealization, I would think.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Xanis?
He nods.
I need you to tell me 5 things that you can see around you.
I see Patches, and you, and Rosemary, and my knife, and a big scary wolf.
That's right. Now, can you tell me 4 things that you can touch? If you need to grasp around, do so. Marlowe's... What three things can you feel, Xenis?
Xanis touches his own fur, touches the floorboards, picks up his knife again, or goes to, but ends up putting... It looks like he's going to go for the knife again. I should clarify. But his hand touches Milo's knee, and the other one touches Penton's knee. As the two, I'm assuming the two of you are kind of like knelt / crouched down, or you're sitting
Yeah.
cross-legged. But he looks up at you both, and he's shaking and quivering, but he's slowly coming to it.
What three things can you hear?
I can hear people down the corridor. I can hear the birds outside, and I can hear myself, if that counts.
It does. Very good, Xenis. Now, what two things can you smell?
I smell... I'm gonna roll... Yeah. He looks at you both. I smell something like... kind of like incense. I think that's patches. And, I can smell Papa Wolf on my jacket from where he was hugging me earlier.
Okay. And what one thing can you taste, if you can taste anything?
He stops for a moment, and I'd like you... Actually, no, you're both close enough to see this. He seems to have chewed through the bottom part of, like, just under where his jaw... where his mouth closes, bit into the bottom of his own, like, mouth, I guess. I taste blood, I think.
Mm.
It seems during all the anxiety and shaking, he must have either bitten into his own lower jaw, like, you know when you bite into your lip, but you go a bit lower than the lip.
Yeah.
I've either done that, or he's like bitten the inside of his cheek or something.
Mm. Alright. How are you feeling now, Xenis? Are you...
At this point, Xanis looks around. I feel a little better. I think Alice left, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Alright.
Could we go and talk to Gort and a couple of other people? I guess.
Yeah, it's not a problem, Xenis.
Patches, do you
You
mind
sure
if
you're ready for that, kid? You're pretty shaken up.
He nods, but rather weakly mumbles. Can I go with just Milo? I think you should probably go and, I think you should probably go and see where Father Bear is. He should be coming back soon, right? No, that's childish to think he's not coming back. It's my fault. Please go and tell him I'm sorry. And he stands up, a little shaky, holding on to Milo, who I'm assuming is probably going to rise around the same time. And the two of them leave the room to go and find Gort and a couple of other people that Xanis wants to go and see. So moving on from there, thank you, Milo and Penton, if you could go on mute. We go over to Alstramira, who on her way back has been intercepted by Mado.
Oh, hi, Maida.
Have you got a second?
Yeah, I've got many seconds. What can I help you with?
And he puts his hand on the back of his head and scratches awkwardly. I wanted to ask you something. Do you know why Alice doesn't like me?
I don't think she doesn't like you.
Well, I guess because she's an elf, she doesn't understand. When in my tribe, or I guess it's a more common thing for cave bear folk like myself, but when you give someone a weapon that you've made for them, it's, I guess, like a confession of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
I gave her a longsword, and I don't think it quite stuck. Maybe
Well, what did you actually say when you gave it to her?
Well, I tried to pass it off as just offering a sword. I feel like I might be being a bit too hasty in the idea, but she seems very nice. But I'm worried that the way that her and Penton are going, it might not end well.
I mean, I don't really think Alice would know about your tradition and your culture. So, I mean, perhaps because you didn't spell it out for her, she doesn't actually know that you're interested in her.
Well, I'll see how her and Penton get along, but if you think that things aren't going well for her, just say something for me, will you?
I really don't think things are going well for her. I really don't like her and Penton.
You and me both, kid.
Like, I know I'm innocent and everything, but even I can see that he's no good for her. She deserves better, like you.
I appreciate that, kid, but if things start going bad, try and get through to her. And anyway, I should go and see how my brother's doing. I think I've got to try and find where he's wandered off to now.
Okay. I'll be sure to tell her if things go bad, but hopefully they don't.
Thanks. I appreciate it. And Mado wanders off. It seems like a lot of the group have been very deflated by what's happened. That's the weirdest way for me to say deflated. But yeah, it seems like a lot of the energy that was here with a lot of the group has vanished completely. Like the life has been sucked out of everyone.
Okay. I think we need something to cheer everyone up. So I have a special chicken at home called Clucky the Second. So I'm gonna write to my mother in Persia and ask for them to send Clucky the Second over.
Are you just going to be doing that on your own, or is there anything else you wanted to do whilst you're doing that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find Jasper.
Okay. Okay, so as you wander around, so you go to find Jasper, and I'd like you to roll an investigation check.
Investigation. Oh, natural 20. First one of the session. Ooh.
Okay, so you find Jasper eventually sitting in a garden writing in his diary. And yeah, if you two want to converse.
Oh, Jasper, there you are. I was wondering where you went off to.
I'm just been sitting here.
I guess you're writing in your diary, right? Don't worry, I want a sneak peek.
It's okay. It's encoded. You wouldn't be able to read it anyway.
Oh,
I just finished, so. Need anything?
well, I was gonna write a letter to my mom in Persia. She's my nanny, by the way. I was wondering if maybe you would want to do one as well. Not to my mom, that'd be a bit weird, but like maybe to your family. Or your siblings.
Sounds good. I
Alright.
should probably. Yeah. Let's go.
So, I'm going to be asking my mum and Persia to send over my chicken. He's called Clucky the Second because Clucky the First is dead. And, yeah, because he was murdered by my grandfather. But Clucky the Second's really cool. And Persia looks after him. He's very white.
Well, that's interesting. At home, we only have cats. We only have one, but there are a bunch of stray cats. So.
Oh, I love cats. They're really cute. What's your favourite? Who's your favourite?
One called Mud. That's our one. He's called Mud because he just plays in the mud all day and drags mud everywhere. So we just called him Mud.
That's a good name. I like that name. I call him like Muddy, but Mud also works. But who are you? Who are you going to write to then?
Actually, my brother Simon. I haven't actually spoken to my family since I was a bit.
Oh.
So I should probably tell them about everything.
You probably should. They'd probably be a lot more upset if they heard it from someone else than from you.
That's what I'm thinking. It feels like there's not really much keeping it a secret for very long anymore. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure even if you didn't tell them, they'd find out eventually. So, you should do that. Maybe if it helps, you could ask them to come round as well. Like, I'll bring Clucky, and then you can bring your brother Simon, and then, they can see what happened in person, and maybe you can have, like, a good relationship then.
I think Simon would love Clucky.
Clucky the Second. It's
Clucky the
incredibly
Second,
important to
sorry.
put the second.
Right.
He is very righteous.
Righteous.
Yes, he has an attitude.
Oh. Wow.
That's why we have Persia. Like, I know she's my nanny, but my grandfather kept her hired just to look after Clucky the Second, because Clucky the Second is very high maintenance, but I do love him.
Well, I have a pen. Do you have any paper?
Yeah, I got some.
Okay, well let's
Pull
start
out.
writing.
Okay, sounds good.
So
And then
you
we
I'm
write
s-
our letters.
nice. So up to you what you two write in there. I'll let you discuss that between the two of you. Oh god. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up a little bit of information that's going to be really helpful for my brain cells. So we cut back to Milo and Xanis, who have arrived at a very familiar-looking office. It's the one that you and Carl walked past during your entry to this building for the first time, where there's a desk outside of it that's like a reception desk, which is where you met Gort, and you saw Nox for the first time. And Xanis has led you here, of all places. If you want, you can wait outside, or you can come in. I don't know. It's up to you.
I'll come in.
So So Xanis leads you in, and inside is Gort, who looks a little bit tired, as it would seem he's just come back from a mission, but he turns his head around and looks like he's about to start saying something, but looks at the very upset state of Xanis. And this is the first time he's seen Xanis in about a month, since, Gort went on a mission shortly after bringing somebody to the guild and having to, sort out a couple of administrative things at the very start. But after you met Gort, he basically went on a mission shortly/immediately afterwards. And he hasn't seen Xanis a while, so there's a look of horror on his face. Oh, sweetheart, what'd they do to you? And Gort kneels down and gives a little bit and gives Xanis a big hug and looks to Milo. Well, what happened to him? Whose head do I need to smash in?
Well, I'm assuming you're aware what happened to Xanis and Kay.
I've only just gotten back. I've literally 5 minutes ago put my stuff in my stuff back in my room at the guild. What happened? Please, I gotta know who hurt the poor boy.
Xanis and Kay were kidnapped by Mase. Well, how long was it? A few weeks ago, wasn't it?
It would have been about a week ago, roughly.
Xanis and Kay were kidnapped by Mase about a week ago, and we retrieved them earlier today. Whatever Mase had done to Xanis and Kay caused their bodies to age. Unnaturally, so. But Xanis is also rather upset scared of one of the members in our party.
Gort lets go of Xanis and gently pats him on the head while listening to Milo, and kind of almost as though dealing with a child. Gort at this point has sat down on a big old beanbag with Xanis just gently sitting on one of Gort's legs and just kind of resting his head on Gort's chest as the same sort of thing you do when a baby or a child is upset, of just have them close and just reassure them that everything's okay, sort of technique. I forget what it's specifically called, but I know what I'm on about, but it'll come to me right at the end of the session as I'm pressing the end stream button. I'll watch it. But Gort doesn't seem like the first time that Gort has had to help Xanis stop being upset or help calm him down. Well, this is quite the situation, isn't it? Well, I can tell you right now that nobody's gonna get in here. If I'd been here when Mase somehow managed to weasel his way in, I would have crushed his skull between my hands. And Xanis pipes up, like that. What was it? What was the weird? It's like a big green thing with red on the inside, and it was striped. What was it again? And he looks to Gort, and Gort's having a chuckle, and Xanis looks to Milo before standing back up again. Milo, do you remember what it's called? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen one.
Do I know what he's talking about?
Yes, you should do. You live on an island, which is basically a forest. I put it in the pocket of the chat.
A watermelon! Oh!
It just clicked in your brain!
No, because... No, I got food,
Understandable.
brought over to me. And I, partially zoned out for a moment.
I don't blame you.
And all I heard was red and green, and I thought it was some sort of monster, not
understandable. There are a lot of red and green monsters, but no, it clicks in your head after a few seconds. Xanis is referring to a watermelon.
Do you mean a watermelon?
Yeah, they're really nice, but they're really hard to get hold of. I know. I think Summer and Priscilla were planning on trying to plant some in the garden, but I don't think they were able to get hold of the seeds. It does remind me of that one time when Auntie Summer made a watermelon come to life. It was really funny, and it rolled away. It's really sad.
That does sound really funny.
It is. Did you see her? Did you see? Did she let you meet her shrub friends? They're really cool. They're like little bushes, but they run.
I saw them from a distance.
Can you roll history for me? I just want to see if your brain has a flashback to that moment.
15.
Your brain, as Xanis mentions this, you have a short flashback to shortly after seeing what through your guild room's window of like watching that retreating figure. You remember coming back to the guild's entrance to see this army of awakened shrubs basically swarming through the guild's main hallway to block up the path, and it makes you giggle slightly, thinking about all these tiny bushes, and there was just an army of them sitting in the garden. Nobody knew the wiser. It's like, it's almost as if someone had made a tiny army of little soldiers, but they're all bushes. And it's quite a comical memory. But Xanis seems to be satisfied with the conversation he's had with Gore, and hops back up before turning to Milo. I know I'm supposed to go and see Priscilla and have to do all the therapy things that she's offering. But, could I introduce you to my best friend? He's kind of mean and he's kind of rude, but he's really nice. He's just a bit weird sometimes. He likes my dad a lot, but he seems to kind of like my dad a bit too much. I don't know. Off to Crimson! And he hops up and leads the way. Clearly it seems like, that little bit of reassurance that he has someone helping him. Like, Xanis has a connection with a couple of the group, but it seems like he's getting a bit more confident with interacting with Milo. As the two of you end up heading towards where Crimson is. Meanwhile, we tune over to Penton. What are you doing as of current? Are you going to go and try and find Father Bear? Or do you have something else in mind? Also, remember you are muted. So no one to unmute.
Well, I did have something else in mind, but now I'm not quite sure in terms of what I should do. Don't really know if I should go find Father Bear, because there's not really anything I could say to him that he's not already aware of, and nothing I say will change anything.
Well, what would you like to do then?
I guess I should go find him.
Okay. So, if you like, I'll give you a little bit to try and work out what you want to say to Father Bear when you eventually find him.
Sorry, say again.
I
said sorry, say again.
Basically, I'm gonna jump away from you for a little bit so you can work out what you want to say to Father Bear, as you're now heading off to go and find him. But I am going to tune back in to Mira. I believe that was the next thing I had on my list.
Hello.
So you and Jasper have written letters and sent them off, and Jasper, you've kind of you were the one to go and send the letters off. Jasper's stayed in the garden, clearly not okay with what's happened so far. Things have shook him up quite a bit, so he's staying where he feels more comfortable. I believe there was one more thing that you wanted to do.
I want to go see Lupine.
Are you going on your own, or would you like to take someone with you?
I'll just go on my own.
Okay. So, you go to find Lupus, and funnily enough, he is in his office.
Can I check the door first?
Yes.
Is there a sign on the door?
No.
Okay. I will knock on the door.
Well done for remembering. You knock on the door, and you hear a very tired, "Come in."
Hello. You didn't have a sign on your door, so I thought that maybe we could talk.
Of course. If you can if you can just push that little lever by the door after you close it, it'll pop the little sign up.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll do that.
So you close the door and you flip this tiny little lever, and you hear this slide of wood, followed by a couple of bits of sliding wood, and I'm just gonna say, out of idle mirror curiosity, you end up opening the door slightly to take a look, and it's changed. There's now a little wooden slat sign on the door that says occupied, or more specifically, it says busy in, I believe it's common, and then underneath is, what language was it again? I think it was it Lupine or Canyon?
Both.
Lupine. So there is a little abbreviation underneath that says the same thing in Lupine.
Ah, that's a cool mechanism.
Yes. So what was it you came to talk with me about, Mira? I apologise, I'm very tired at the moment.
No, it's okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Well, I was just thinking about what Kay's been saying, and, well, Milo and Carl as well. And, well, I kind of feel like I need to start making some changes, and I was wondering if you could help me with that. Like, tutor me or something.
Lupus smiles. Well, I can teach you what I know. I'm kind of like you in a way. I'm not the best with people. I know it's ironic saying that as a guild master, but I'm not that great with people. I struggle, and I'm sure you can tell my attentions don't always stay in the place they need to be. Though I'm sure you've seen what Xanis is like, and he's like a little version of me and Ziffy put together. So I'm sure you've had plenty of idea that where he gets it from, at least. I'd be happy to help, but I have something to tell you that might be a bit upsetting, but I think you need to know.
Oh? What is it?
Do you mind sitting down in the chair? There's
Okay.
there's a little plush leather chair sat in front of the desk, and as you sit down in it, you listen to my own chair squeak in pain, and it's quite plush, and you kind of sink into it slightly. So, what happened to Xanis and Kay? I'm sure you saw when we were fighting Mase, there was something he had that was glimmering.
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't get a clear glimpse of what it was, though.
We found a large pile of letters and notes between your father and Mase.
Why?
tell me, do you remember your mother telling you about a woman called Dalius?
Yeah, I remember hearing about her. She wasn't very nice, and she tried to sacrifice a whole city just because she wanted peace. But she
Wow.
ended up bringing war instead.
Well, what if I told you that years and years and years ago, me, your mother, your father, and a bunch of our close friends, and Ziffy, and I guess one of my personal favourites outside of obviously your own. Well, I say your mother, your auntie Diana, and obviously Ziffy, my husband. Well, not proper husband yet, but my fiance, if you will. This Dalius woman, did a lot of horrible things to my student, a woman named Rose Mayflower. I'm sure your mother has told you about her, as she was my personal student who I have been looking after since she was about 6. So quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard the name before.
Well, your mother, auntie, and all of the other family members I guess, attached family, emotional family, whatever you want to call it. We had to fight Dalius, and she was turned into a Seath by Slaven, or Slaven's Malice, as it was to be more accurate, since they are now 2 separate beings.
Mm-hmm.
When Rose and Miss Neverand ended up dealing the finishing blow to Dalius, they didn't destroy her entirely. They destroyed Dalius's body, but to really eliminate the Seath, you have to destroy its consciousness. And they didn't destroy the head. There are letters between your father and Mase that they may have tracked down the location of where Dalius's head is now. I've got Nova on the case, and I'm sure you've at least heard of Nova. I've got Lilac, who was helping me, but I'm not sure if I can have him continue to help me if Miss Lavandar is correct. What I should probably get to the point of is your father is showing more and more signs that we can't trust him anymore. I mean, I didn't trust him personally in the first place, but he's doing more and more bad things. And I know you are struggling with that, but I feel like you need to know, because your mother hasn't really told you the things that Tuck has done, or your father has done, whichever you prefer to know him by. He's committed a lot of atrocities and very bad things, and your mother is also responsible for a lot of things. And neither of them have really told you the things they've done to get to where they are now. And I know that's probably not my place to tell you, but because you can't go home anymore, I basically have to be your parent now. So, I guess me being a godfather is probably a good thing. Ziffy has said that he is willing to help, but the responsibility of your well-being is on my shoulders now. I understand that that's not exactly the most pleasant thing, considering I haven't been the most trustworthy as of late, as I've been a bit all over the place. mind has wandered quite a bit since I realised that next year will be when the Lilian Beast returns. And I am concerned and worried about what's going to happen with you and the rest of the guild, since she's coming back a lot sooner, or a lot faster than I expected her to. I thought we'd put her out for a bit longer than I expected. The sad thing is she is returning on my birthday, the 20th of May, next year. So I'm having to prepare a lot of things. And if you want me to mentor you, I feel like you should be fully aware of what your father is doing and the things your mother has done to bring things to such a standoff. I know it's not. Once again, I don't think it's my place to tell you, but if you can't go home and something happens to your mother, or your father starts acting out a lot more than he already has been, then it's on me to protect you from a lot of things. Just like I do for Xenis.
But I do think you're wrong on one thing. I think you are suitable for this, and I think you being here is fantastic, and I couldn't ask for anyone better. I really mean that.
I appreciate it. Now, your first thing. Have you tried to make up with Carl? I'm aware that one of the last few things that Father Bear mentioned to me is that you and Carl were at ends with each other, if you will.
Yeah, I did apologize to him after we got back, and it seems like he was kind of, listening to it, though I understand it's going to take a lot more than just saying sorry.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, but apologizing is the first step amongst many. And that's okay. I wanted to teach you for a while about all the things that have happened and where things stand now. I'm sure the rest of the guild has more than made their issues with your family very well known. Unfortunately, whilst I do my best to prevent them from being douches, or unpleasant, sorry, speaking in a more eloquent manner for your noble upbringing, I can only do so much to prevent them from acting out like that. Now,
No, it's okay. I mean, they have their frustrations and they see me as part of it. And I know I didn't have anything, but if it makes them feel better, then maybe it's for the worthwhile, at least for now.
I'm glad that you at least understand their frustrations.
Yeah,
Now,
I can't stop people from feeling that way.
of course. I want to show you something. And I think that you will find it very interesting. And I guess consider it a gift.
Oh?
But I need you to pinky promise me that should your father appear or start trying to twist you against me or anything like that and starts acting unusual or suspicious, or even start trying to be his usual self, always question what's presented to you. Never take everything at face value. Always a pinch of salt. And Lupa's does a little pinch like a pair of lobster claws, and just does little pinching motions at Mira, almost like a playful parent.
Well, I don't want to lose my pinky. So, okay.
And the two of you do like a little pinky promise. Before Lupus stands up and walks you out of the room. You can see down the hall, Milo and Xanis are having a conversation with a very rough-looking warrior in, I believe it's Dark Knight garbs. Let me double check, because my brain cells are slowly turning potato because I've been in a hot room for nearly 3 hours now. And I really need to pee, but I am being professional. Okay. Yeah, so, is a rather rough-looking Wolvenite of pretty high standing in the, in the garbs of Dark Knight before the actual armor's placed on. So, like, it's not in his armor, but it's pretty clear. And Xanis and Milo seem to be getting along quite nicely. However, Lupus leads you towards them. And you end up bumping into each other as Crimson prepares to leave. But he's giving Lupus the eyes of, oh hello, it's fancy seeing you here, before leaving. Leaving you and Lupus standing with Milo and Xanis. Evening, you two. Fancy seeing you about. And Lupus kneels down to kneels down a little bit. Or I say kneels down. They're basic. I think like there's like a 3-inch height difference. So out of habit, Lupus kind of starts kneeling down, and then remembers he's not that short anymore. Stand up, ruffles Xanis's hair. And how's my little trouble? How you doing? And Xanis starts rambling to Lupus. Meanwhile, Mira, you kind of end up edging over to Milo.
Hi, Milo.
Hello, Astramira.
What have you been up to?
Hanging out with the Xanis.
Oh, how's he been?
He's recovering.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad he has someone like you to help him with all that medical stuff. I mean, I know I can just like pinch his cheeks and then pull his face up. That's kind of as far as I can really go, but you can help with like the mental work.
Sure.
It's been a busy day. Who was that you were talking to, by the way? They seem very, scary.
Crimson?
Oh, is that their name?
Yes. Xanis introduced me.
Ah, what are they like?
Do you want me to
Milo
describe
thinks-
him as a personality?
Well, he's a bit of an arse.
Sorry, carry on.
I think that's the simplest explanation.
Oh, was he a bit mean to you?
He's a bit of an arse. Yes, a little bit.
Oh, I see. I'll beat him up for you if that's what you want. And get Alice and I.
You definitely cannot beat him up. I am.
Oh, I can trip him over.
Oh
That
my
might work.
God.
Anyway, if you two aren't too busy, Milo, I don't suppose that you'd be happy to come with me and Xanis and Mira. I'm gonna be showing them something pretty cool. We'll call it that. And I may or may not have received something alongside that letter that was for both of you, but there's only one thing, and I'm pretty sure that Carl would not be interested in it. Then again, I have had Atlas working on something for Carl that I think he's gonna like. So I feel like it's only fair that you get the little gift. You wanna come with?
Yeah, sure. Also, Astra and Karina send her regards. Send their regards.
God, it's been years since I've seen Karina like a few years ago, but I haven't seen Astra since she became goddess of the harvest. God, that's like
Yes.
years ago.
But,
Anyway, yes.
I don't know if Mother sent you a letter stating this, but she's going to be coming to visit in a month's time.
Oh my God. Well, that's a little bit early, but
Yeah.
she wasn't planning her annual. She normally visits every like 3-4 years.
It's because well, she's not exactly happy with what's happened with Carl.
Neither am I. That Hyde boy is becoming a lot more trouble than I expected. But I'm not gonna throw him out just yet, because I've got to be a responsible guildmaster. I have to at least adhere to the rules that have been put in place. If he fucks up again, then I'll let Nova decide what to do with him. Well, I've already told Nova that he's the one that will decide what to happen with Abraham, so I'll probably let him deal with Jasper as well.
Right. Gran did mention that Mother wanted to take us home.
I'm sorry, what?
Do I actually have the letter?
I would assume so, yes. Carl did not take him with him.
Marlo pulls out Ash's letter. Whilst Karina obviously omitted it from her letter, Mother omitted it from her letter. Oh my god.
It's alright. Take time.
Gran mentioned that Karina would want to take us home.
Of course. Well, I can give you the good news, or I can give you the good news.
Sure.
Lupus has a little bit of a chuckle to himself. Well, I can tell you that your mother is not going to be keeping you from being at home. Or being at the guild. Sorry, I think of this place as my home. I don't know whether you would say the same, considering that things have not exactly gone as planned, but considering that you are now contracted to the guild, she can't do that. Because that violates the agreement. She can let you both go visit Honeymilk, but you won't be able to, stay unless she asks you both to leave the guild. But seeing as you guys are kind of making friends, maybe having a little bit of difficulty with Alice and more than enough difficulties with Jasper, considering that you guys seem to be getting along, at least, well, before Kay decided to implode. I don't know. I'll let you boys make the choice when it comes to the time. But for now, no, she's not taking you guys that far. I mean, she can try, but she should know just as well as I do that violates the guild laws, unfortunately. So don't worry about it too much. Anyway,
Alright.
How about we go and have a look at these things, huh? And he turns. Leading the three of you down into a corridor. And it appears like there is armory on the wall. It's quite interesting. As you're walking past, you see this pretty heavily built Wolvenite male hammering away at something that looks like... Was that some sort of, like, glaive? Maybe a lance? You're not entirely sure. It's got a large pole, but the actual, like, end of the weapon, if you will, is still, like, glowing hot. So there's a big wooden pole, but the blade itself is still being forged. Anyway, you carry on, and after opening a couple of doors, you arrive at a small, like, not like a treasury, but like a little, like, packaging room or something. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's where all of like the important things that Lupus is supposed to remember to hand out to certain guild members is all stored. So, like, there are parcels and, like, weapons and items and little, like, bags of, like, little pouches of miscellanea that are in here with different group names, different group letters, and different people's names that belong to those groups. But Lupus seems to really have something special in mind. So, oh god. Bit of a walk, but for my special little man, or can I call you a man yet? I don't know. You still behave like a kid, but I'm sure you and Ziffy will try and pull plenty of pranks on me later. I have a gunblade for you, and pulls out a short sword with it's not a reverse grip. It's your regular short sword with a trigger. So it looks like Lupus has gotten Xanis a gift. It was supposed to be for your 18th birthday, but since, yeah, I shouldn't bring it up. But this is for you now. I made it from silver to match your gun knife, which is kind of topical now, but I'll let you be the judge of that. And I hope that you'll learn to use them both together, but I wanted to make them matching. Your father and I put a lot of work into making sure that these function nicely. Just don't do anything stupid with them, and remember what I taught you. Think before you act. Anyway, Milo, your father actually sent this. Tell me, how do you feel about knives?
They're easy to wield, but lots of fun.
Oh, really? Well, I have something interesting for you. You see, there was this little extra package that got delivered with a couple of names on it, and I thought that you would like it. And you are handed a rather large... It's like a ring with 4 large spikes in each direction, with a handle in the middle of this open ring. I believe it's called a star knife. And, while it might not be the most effective weapon, I thought it might be nice, seeming as it'll be a little bit stronger. Sorry. I thought that you would appreciate it. It seems like they've enchanted it a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll have to work. I'm sure you'll work that out later.
Marla nods. Thank you.
And then he turns to Mira. And for you, fashionably last, but definitely not the least, my granddaughter. Granddaughter? Goddaughter.
Granddaughter. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you've turned into a Lyric.
No. I am not your grandfather. Ew. God, I would never
I mean,
want to
if
be
you
your
say
grandfather.
grandmother, I think you get away with it because Edith is quite cool.
I mean, yes, your grandmother is quite the woman. We'll put it at that. I wanted to give you one of my prototype weapons. See, when I was a younger boy, I named my weapons after the way I felt about myself. Funnily enough, there were 4 iterations of this weapon. The first was the diminished diminuendo, kind of like the low part of a song. The second was the crimson crescendo, like the peak of a song, when things go amazingly. And then, when I met Ziffy, I changed the weapon. I made a new weapon, and I called it the Red Rhapsody. Lots of musical references. And then Lupus pulls his current rapier from its sheath, and this beauty is Eclipsing Rhapsody. Quite an unusual name, I'm sure, but I kind of put the 4 names together in a sense, since I like my music, and I like to think of my life as a big song, or a story, almost. Hell, it probably would have been a story that Norik would have ended up singing. Oh god. I miss Norik. But
I do too.
I shouldn't focus on that. I'm sure when we eventually get the chance to go and see Rama, maybe a part of Norik will still be left. Who knows? But I thought I'd give you one of the prototypes from before I managed to create the diminished diminuendo. It's not exactly amazing, but I thought you might appreciate it.
It's so cool. Thank you.
And you notice that this weapon is enchanted.
Ooh.
I will let you work out what it is later when I pop it on your sheet, but Lupus then leads the 3 of you out of the room, closing it behind him. Right, now we should probably get everyone back. And yeah. Let's gather everyone together. Just for a moment. Oh fuck, I forgot about Penton. Penton, I'm just gonna plop your interaction with Father Bear off screen if that's okay, because you are definitely correct that what you state will kind of not have an impact. I guess Lupus is just gonna get you before you can find him. There you go. That's my solution to this, because I forgot. Lupus gathers your group together. I know, I'm totally talented at this. Gathers the entire group together.
Hey, I'm forgotten and need to be solved.
I'm sorry! Anyway,
That's right.
Penton,
Kay was us.
yes, at this point Kay is in the room, but she is basically having
Sulking.
Cassandra and Lilac are standing between her and the rest of the group at the moment, because she is still in deep trouble.
She's a timeout.
Basically, yeah. Lupus enters the room, and so does Ziffy. So you have pretty much everybody.
He's on the naughty chair.
Pretty much everyone in the room, obviously excluding Father Bass. Your entire guild group is now present. As Lupus lets out a slightly defeated sigh before shaking his head. Well, I have some good news, and I guess some not so great news. For some of you, I guess. I am probably going to make the mistake of trusting you guys with your freedom around Girathina for a while. We have something happening in the next month or so, around the next month, and Lupus kind of winks at Milo and Carl. Carl has come back from whatever he was doing, and is still looking very flustered. But keep in mind, I will trust you all to roam, but you will be allowed to roam outside of the guild and outside of Lenfar, provided that you are on a mission, which you will now officially be undertaking your missions. Whilst I shouldn't do this, I am going to give your group their F ranking. Normally, you would have to pass an exam for this, but I'd think that your encounter with Mase and helping me recover Xanis and Kay was enough to qualify for your F ranking.
It was certainly a test.
One that I wish didn't happen, but I can't change the past or the future, so no point dwelling on it. But you are now F rank. I will be expecting your group to be preparing to undertake some more missions, but more specifically, you are all roughly around the range now where you should be preparing for your F+ exam. This will allow you to have a little bit more freedom. You'll be able to take some more distant missions. What you're aiming for is to try and eventually get up to S rank, which is a long way off for you all, but if you work together, you can reach that point. Now, I will be serious with you. You will all potentially be at life-risking danger during all of this, but work together, pay attention, and make sure you communicate with each other. Lupus glares at Jasper as he's saying this, and then turns his attention to Alice, and try not to be too forward about certain things. Look after each other, or at least try. I understand there's a little bit of dissent between some of you. Some of you don't like each other. I'm aware of that, but you can't let that affect your... You can't let your capability outside of this guild be affected by internal conflict. If you have a problem with each other, please sort it out in person. I would rather you do that. Or if you want to fight each other, you are more than welcome to use the Colosseum. I have finally put all of your information in there, so you can fight each other if you so wish, as training practice, I guess. We'll call it that. Just don't turn the safety off. I've made sure that you are unable to do that in case you accidentally kill each other. It's not the first time you've had internal conflict, but you will be held to the guild rules now, so please remember that. Anyway, congratulations on your F rank. Now I must return because a certain Foxo is waiting for me to relax for the evening. I haven't had a nice hot bath since I got back. It smelled awful. Ugh. Yeah. Anyway, congratulations, and please take the rest of the evening. You've done well, but remember you can always push higher. And that is where I'm going to end the session off, with Lupus and Zippy leaving the room. So I hope everybody enjoyed viewing that spicy drama, and we will see you next session, which is next week, same times. Bye!
Adios!